This morning.
The Radio Wammo Breakfast.
The best ideas are free with Ben Young from Bwaggy.com.
Yes, back for 2010 from Bwaggy, BWAGY.com. Just the one G in there. Ben was telling me he's had people searching for BWAGGY on Google. Because you see the stats come through, don't you, Ben?
Yep. Yeah, after every show you see this little blip. But luckily Google figures out, did you mean Bwaggy?
Yeah. Hey, yeah, how was your holiday?
Good, really good. Halfway through the holidays I got a really favourable book review in Australia. And then right on Christmas Day, Spanish GQ.
Yeah.
So the review was in Spanish, but they were saying these are the people you should watch next year.
Yeah.
And there were three names. My name was one of them.
So you just saw Ben Young, you didn't understand anything. Do you know what they were saying at all?
Well, I can speak a bit of Spanish, so
Right.
I got the gist, and I was like, okay, it's good. That was
Yeah.
the first check. Is this good?
What's the Spanish word for good? Was it
Bueno.
bueno? Of course. Good.
So it was quite good, and then I got a friend to translate it, and they said, they specified.
Yeah.
Basically, they were saying, in 2010, there were kind of three people that you should watch, and here are their blogs. And,
Wow.
luckily,
that's
one
huge.
of them...
Well
it was
done.
huge.
Yeah.
I've had lots of traffic from it. So
Well,
I've got a whole raft of new Spanish speakers reading my English blog.
Who were the other two?
There was Seth Godin, so he would probably be number one or number two
He's
in
a
terms
huge
of marketing authors.
Big
so
books.
A big honour for my name to be alongside his.
Yeah.
And then there was a Indian guru, and they were kind of saying follow what he does for that kind of life-work balance.
Okay. Wow.
So yeah, it was quite a nice little Christmas present. And
Yeah. So you
really
were keeping
unexpected.
tabs on things while you were
I
away.
just got a little note like, hey, have you seen this? So,
Yeah. Yeah.
That was
And
cool.
Did you make it around New Zealand at all?
Yep. I Christmas up here in Auckland, and then for New Year's I went back down to Queenstown, which is kind of hometown. Mm-hmm. And Queenstown really is the hub. I kind of 3 days before I got there, someone texted me, "Hey, will you be in Queenstown?" They were over from the UK, and so we ended up meeting in Queenstown. I wandered down the street, ran into someone else I hadn't seen for a few years.
Nice.
And a few people from Wellington were down. If you're in Queenstown, I think everyone else that is there is from outside of Queenstown as well.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's the most international city in New Zealand, perhaps, in terms of how many people, how many tourists it has.
Oh, it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah.
I think the population goes from about 25,000 up to 75,000 in peak season.
Yeah.
So 50,000 a tourist.
Wow.
It's huge.
Are you looking forward to being back at work?
Yes.
Back doing what you do?
Yes. I couldn't wait to get back, even though I was off having adventures around the South Island.
Gosh, you must be alone in that, eh? The rest of New Zealand's groaning right now. Oh, man.
That 2010 is the year of opportunity.
It is, eh? I'm feeling very up because what was it like at this time last year?
This time last year, I came back from holidays, and the headline on the New Zealand Herald was, I forget the specifics, but it was very dire. And I had 3 clients call me on that day and say, cut all spending, stop it, we don't want to do anything.
Yeah.
And it was about 3 weeks later that those same 3 clients, they rang up within 2 days, and there was another headline in the paper, and they said, oh, no, let's kind of do it, but let's tread lightly.
Right.
So it was a bit of a scary start to 2009, and I think a lot of people felt that.
There was no optimism at all going on.
No, Grant Thornton did a poll of business optimism in 46 countries, I believe. This time last year, New Zealand's optimism was 15%. So out of all business people, only 15% had an optimistic outlook for 2009.
Yeah. And fair enough, I suppose. But
Yeah,
it was
well-
a dire year.
Well, the 3 months in the build-up to the new year, there was so much happening in the UK. Like, the banks were going under. Was it Iceland? Their
right.
monetary system crashed, and
Yep.
it was very dire. And New Zealand was kind of going, "That's happening over there. What's going to happen to us?"
Yeah. Yeah.
So everyone was kind of, "We have money, but we might hold on to it for 3 months. We'll just see what's going to happen."
Yeah.
Now, this year, our optimism has turned around, and it's now 66%, or 2/3 of business people have a positive outlook for 2010.
That's good.
That's huge. That's 1 in 2 business people has decided, yes, 2010 is going to be a really good year.
Do you think that's because people went and ran and they ducked for cover, and then they kind of poked their head up and said, "Oh, it actually wasn't that as bad as what they said it was going to be"?
I think it's a mixture of reasons. It's partly that. I think business optimism was up quite a bit in the second half of last year, especially the last quarter. And also, new year, new decade, that helps people think a bit more positively.
Some are saying beware the false prophet. that this renewed confidence may just be a blip. In fact, we're headed for even darker times in the years ahead.
Yes, there are a few analysts, especially in New Zealand, talking about how we've gone right back into housing.
Yeah.
And Bernard Hickey talks a lot about this on the Herald and over at interest.co.nz. And I tend to agree with him. Investing in property, that's good, but the only real money we can make out of it is when foreigners come and buy it off us.
Yeah.
Really, we should be aiming to sell our intelligence overseas and bring those export dollars in.
So we risk making the same mistakes.
Yeah, we do risk.
Apparently before Christmas we were also charging up our credit cards once again.
Yeah. That happens every Christmas.
Yeah,
though.
it does.
Every
I think
Christmas.
that's just
Yeah.
normal.
I read a stat, in some retail niches, 83% of their revenue comes from the Christmas period. Apparently the industry average is about 50%. So that's huge over, say, maybe 2-3 months of the year. You earn 50% of your total revenue over the whole year. So that's got to have a positive effect on how people feel.
Yeah, that's true. So people would be feeling, as you say, a little bit more positive heading back to work this week or even next week.
Yeah.
What else are we looking forward to in 2010?
Well, I think from a personal perspective, there's going to be a big swing. It was predicted about 3 or 4 years ago that by 2011 that 2/3 of all marketing spend would be online, and we're seeing that swing slowly happening. So this year is the real swing year. I think last year everyone was re-questioning what they were doing, trying new things. This year is where they've made some mistakes and they've learned from it, so let's really invest in what works. So this year on a marketing front, I think we're going to have a lot more of companies pushing experiences.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you've seen this over the summer. A lot of the marketing, especially around consumer goods, is, have a good time during summer, like beach, barbecue, going surfing, but have it with our product. Like the Coke ads, they're all about having fun in summer, but drink Coke.
Yeah.
A lot of the beer ads are around, like, maybe backyard cricket.
Yeah.
Beer, barbecue, and our beer.
Yeah.
And some cricket. And so I think this year, companies that can really wrap an experience around their product are going to do really, really well. Because in effect, they create a micro monopoly. If you're doing this behaviour, therefore you should be drinking this product, or you should be buying this or that. And when people have that experience, it's very similar to a tourism experience. Like when you do the shot over jet, you know it's a shot over jet. You know how much fun it was, and you tell it to all your mates.
Yeah.
I'm sure you've seen it with a few of the bars and cafes in Auckland. Max Bar has been really, really good at this. I'm constantly being told, you need to go to the new Max Bar. And when you go to the Max Bar, I mean, the beer's the same, but the beer's the same wherever you go. And to be honest,
I'm talking about the one in Kingsland.
Yeah, there's one in Kingsland, neighbourhood, and there's one in Newmarket, and is it Northern Steamship? And at the bottom of Key?
Down the Viaduct.
Yeah.
Well, no, not really Viaduct, just Britomart.
Yeah. And when I popped down to Queenstown, they had a new bar there. It was a new Max Bar, and people told me about it in Auckland before I went.
Oh, interesting. Is social media coming to play in there at all?
A little bit. Social media helps communicate the experience and provide some engagement, which adds to it. I think that's the other trend we're going to see this year, real-time engagement. If a company can pull off an experience worth talking about, and they can engage real time with their customers, they're going to really be able to win this year.
What do you mean by real time?
So that's being able to engage with customers through social media or technology. A good example would be Dunkin' Donuts in the US. They built a little app so that you could text in your coffee order, then go and pick it up, and they'll send you a message saying, hey, your coffee is ready.
Okay.
So if one company can provide that level of service and another can't, the one that can is going to get a lot more engagement with its customers. And really, which one are you going to pick?
Yeah. Well, that's
so I think those are the two key trends for this year: experience and real time.
Okay, we'll bookmark.
We'll
bookmark this right now, and we'll remember to come back near the end of the year and see exactly what happens.
Yeah, I'll touch wood.
But I'm looking forward to a whole bunch of these ideas throughout 2010, and sharing some of them with the audience via this slot here, Ben Young's slot here on the show, and also via the blog as well, bwaggy.com, bwaggy.com, and also on Twitter, twitter.com/bwaggy. And we'll catch you same time next week.
Excellent. Thank you.